Jonathan again with another machine. Today we got, it's a Moody Terrebonne. It's a power hacksaw, and I'm not sure that's the company that made it. This could be a Racine. That's the only identification on it. No tag or anything, so it's really hard to say. I bought this many years back, and I had sort of been looking for one, and I happened to be at a guy's house, and he done, a lot of woodworking, and he was actually doing some upholstery work for me, and his wife was, and he offered this to me for $100, and of course I couldn't pass that up. It's runs on 110, single phase, and it's had its share of problems. I guess at one time it has been broke and welded back, which you really don't give any trouble, and I think I had to weld it here one time with nickel, and this machine has done a lot of cutting. I've actually had 6x6 square tubing up in it before. That's about max, but you've got to adjust it, the blade, to where, and you actually adjust it back and forth right here, but you adjust it to where it won't hit front or back. And I think this blade I got in is a little short, but these are homemade blades. What I do is I'll buy a long bandsaw blade, and then cut it off with the cutoff wheel, and then punch the holes in it. And the reason I do that is because the blades are really expensive for these machines, and you can get them on eBay, but the price is always high on them. And I don't know what year this machine was or is. I wish I knew. Now it's got oil caps, and it predates Zerk fittings, and I would assume that's 19, I wanted to say it was 23 or something around there when they started the Zerks, but the regular grease fittings, but I think it's probably earlier than that. And I have an idea that maybe, possibly, this could have just been flat belt originally, and it was either grooved with the V-belt later, or the factory may have done that, and this may be the same design, and they just changed over to a V-belt. It's got a coolant system in it. It's never worked. The belt's loose on it, and the pump was locked up when I got it, but it's not hard to put a little oil on it as it's working, so I don't worry about that too much. And I mean, this is really just a hacksaw that is powered, and that's basically all it is. And I'll actually turn it on for you and let you see it work here. And the way this works is it's got a cylinder here that runs off a cam, and when this is pulling, there's no force down on it, but the weight's on it. But when it comes back, it actually picks it up a little bit, and that keeps your blade from dragging and makes your blade last longer. And as long as you don't get into anything hard, you can do a lot of cutting with one of these machines. The rollback I built, all of the channel iron and such for the framing was built or cut with it. And sometimes you'll get a piece in there and not to have it in there good, a small piece, because there's so much distance between, and it'll give you a little trouble when it comes to holding. But it's better for long and big stuff. The blade now on these, the vise adjusts, and you can cut angles on it, but with this brake here, I'm not sure how straight it is. So when I set it up with a small square, and just square it in with the blade, and you'll get a straight cut. It's always cut good and straight coming down. unless you get a blade that's sharper, a little sharper on one side and the other from wear. But these are good machines, and I mean, if you watch out, you can pick them up cheap. I see them sometimes on Craigslist, and the prices are pretty high on them. But one of these machines at $100, $200 is probably max on one, and you will if you keep your eyes open for one, you'll still find them on state auction and every once in a while, and of course Craigslist, just keep an eye out. But real good machine. The blade situation is probably the biggest problem with these, the price of them. But like I said, the way I do it, there's a surplus place local here called REA that I actually bought some blades, and I don't know whether they was donated to the company, I guess is what it was, and then they sell to help people out, and I think the money goes to charity. But they was selling full bandsaw blades. It was probably about 12 foot long for $5 each. So getting blades for it was, for a while there, was no problem. I could get at least 10 blades out of that, and 8 or 10 anyway. And now the handle was missing when I got it, and I just use a wrench for it. That's not a problem. But good machine, and like I said, I think it was probably made by Racine, but I'm not positive. And if you get a chance to get one, I would grab it if you're looking for something decent to cut with. It's one of them walk-away machines. You can put it in, turn it on, walk away, go back to doing your work, and it does its own work for you. Alright, until the next one. Thank you.